Next up on our stage, someone new that I get to speak to. This is fun for me. Let's bring him over. Raymond Nobu Chang, President, CEO, and board member of Agrify, AGFY. How are you, Raymond?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Welcome, welcome. You guys have been on a tear lately with your entrance to the market, and it's been very, very fun to watch. So I'm going to jump out of the way and let you do your thing, and then we'll come back for some Q&A.
Thank you, much appreciated. First of all, really honored to be able to attend the Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference. Before we start, I just want to kind of share a little story here. We were at a Michigan conference recently, and one of the questions that was asked to the panelists was, why is it that we get plenty of repeat customers, but very rarely a 3P customer? And the overwhelming response was because right now the industry is lacking consistency and quality that the consumers are looking for. I really believe that the industry is moving towards a CPG-like company. Agrify, we intend to help the industry to become Pepsify. And what I would mean by that is, just like when you open up a can of Coke or a can of Pepsi, you expect basically to taste exactly the same. I think all the consumers have that same expectations and hope for our industry. And our solution is designed to help deliver the highest consistency and quality much needed in this industry today. Now, there are three integral components to our solution. There's the hardware aspect, which is what we call it, the vertical farming units, as well as a enterprise SaaS solution. And we also help our customers to basically build out facilities, design and build out facility. Why is it important to basically have this kind of holistic and integrated approach? The reason being that plants actually are affected by different elements, right? Like essentially, they're not only concerned about, for example, lights, temperature, humidity, fertigation, irrigation. All these other components are just as important. So instead of basically looking at solving this complex problem from a basically single perspective, from a silo perspective, it's very important to basically look at how we solve this problem to deliver the highest consistency and quality in a holistic approach. Now, this is probably a picture that is not pretty familiar to most of the people. It's a pretty nice indoor cannabis facility. But I remember the first time I walked into one of these facilities, I immediately noticed a few problems. Number one, there's tremendous wastage of real estate space. Half of the vertical space is actually not being used. Secondly, the lights are hung from the ceiling away from the plants. So what that does is basically it encourages the plants to grow. A lot of the energy is actually going towards growing the stems because the plants need to stretch towards the lights. And what we typically see are these really nice flowers and buds near the top because they do get exposure to the lights. But you know what? Unfortunately, it doesn't stretch all the way down to the bottom. In addition to that, you look at this room, you'll notice that they're bound to have different environmental pockets. Temperature, humidity, CO2, light penetration, even airflow, right, are probably not going to be consistent. You're going to have a situation where perhaps if there's one little biosecurity issue, it could potentially wipe out this entire room of crops. And we can, talking about potentially millions of dollars of loss because, we're not really kind of controlling the environment correctly. Now, I believe this is the old way of growing the plants. The industry needs a better solution to take it to the next level. At Agrify, we're using data, science, technology to deliver Cannabis 2.0 way of grow. It's delivering higher consistency, higher quality, but at the lower cost of operation. Now, here's a video of how we believe the industry is heading today.
What will the future of the cannabis industry look like? With significant growth already happening globally, combined with a shift towards increased legalization, there is a sea of change on the horizon, and the effects will be felt at every level of the supply chain. As the industry continues to mature, consumers will inevitably demand a level of quality and consistency they are accustomed to from the tried and true brands they love. This will push producers of cannabis to adapt, as traditional methods and legacy approaches to cultivation simply won't cut it anymore. For cannabis brands to thrive today and compete in the future, it's imperative they adopt methods rooted in plant science, and applying data-driven technology to that science will give growers the ability to provide the safe, consistent, and high-quality products the market requires. Our approach? An integrated, transformative hardware and software solution. Agrify vertical farming units are the most advanced and versatile cultivation solutions in the industry. These modular units can be double or triple stacked, increasing canopy square footage and allowing growers to take advantage of their facility's vertical space to help achieve superior yields. For increased safety and improved workflow, Agrify has built in a complete catwalk system, making accessibility easy and effective. Each vertical farming unit is a self-contained growth chamber that offers everything needed to grow high-quality cannabis efficiently with repeatability and at scale. Now, cultivators can simultaneously grow different strains, replicate optimized environmental conditions, and mitigate risks much more effectively. Working seamlessly with Agrify's vertical farming units is our proprietary software solution, Agrify Insights. Agrify Insights brings transparency to the entire grow process by allowing you to monitor and control everything in real time while recording hundreds of thousands of data points annually. With this on-demand data, growers can reproduce uniform microclimate cultivation environments to get optimal and consistent results every time. Agrify Insights is further enhanced by a number of complementary features, including our OpEx and production planning calculators, and it has also been integrated with Metric and Confident Cannabis, making it the most comprehensive software offering in the industry. It's not just hardware, and it's not just software. It's a combination of both that empowers our customers to be more efficient, productive, and successful in operating their businesses. Agrify's integrated system is the ultimate end-to-end cultivation solution, bringing the industry high-quality products with consistency at scale and providing the competitive advantage growers are looking for.
Our 2.0 precision elevated cultivation solutions delivers on the following. Number one, the vertical extension, allowing the growers to basically take advantage of the height of the ceiling. By stacking up our vertical farming units, 2 or potentially even 3 units high, you can actually increase the amount of canopy square footage as much as 4 to 6x. Now, other people have actually also tried to go up vertically. But actually what makes us unique is that we can make sure that doesn't matter if you're on the first floor or on the upper floor, you still get a micro-controlled growing environment that are basically best for the plants. In addition to that, we help our customers to lower their OpEx. Right now in the industry, we're talking about $460 to $500 per pound of OpEx costs. But with our solution, we can significantly help reduce that OpEx with automation. Now, as mentioned, the industry is moving towards CPG, consumer product brand creation, and the best is actually to be able to produce the highest consistency and quality, and that's exactly what our solution offers. Now, we always start out with what we call the strain-specific grow plans. So for example, if you're growing purple punch, we know that, for example, on day 57, perhaps you need to intensify the red light spectrum because that's what gives the nice purple color at the end. Now, if you're actually growing another strain, perhaps you need a different light setting. Now, it's not just the light, but also temperature, humidity, fertigation, irrigation cycle. So instead of basically providing an average grow environment to different types of strains, we actually come up with what we call the strain-specific grow plans. For lemon haze, will be different from purple punch. And once that grow plan is optimized, we can actually repeat that process over and over again. So for example, in terms of temperature, we can actually control it down to 0.5 degrees Celsius accurately at all time. In terms of airflow, basically we can get it down to, for example, 2 meters per second. So you provide the best grow environment to the plants at all time. And again, a strain-specific grow plan. On the hardware side, these are all proprietary hardware. We collect up to 1 million data points annually per vertical farming units. And as you can see, it's all proprietary lights. We were basically the first in the industry to introduce something called the inter-canopy light. And what that does is, instead of basically only providing lights from the top, the basically inter-canopy lights allows flowers and buds to form throughout the entire stem, the length of the stems, thus increasing the overall yield inside of each of our vertical farming units. Now, these are the results. For example, for candy cane, over the last 10 harvest batches, we're seeing the swing of cannabinoid range at 0.67%. Just to kind of give everybody kind of a reference point. In the industry today, we're seeing an average 10 to 15% swing in cannabinoid range, and about 5 to 7% swing in terpene. And as you can see here, candy cane over 10 harvest batches, we're basically looking at 0.67, 0.08% terpene swing. For lemon haze, another strain, over the last 12 harvest batches, right, cannabinoid range 0.38, terpene 0.02, right? Significantly higher consistency coming out of our VFU production. Now, we're also helping our customers to be successful. Right now in the state of Nevada, the average wholesale price for the upper quintile of the flowers is somewhere around $2,700 to $2,800. Our customer is able to fetch more than 3,200, and because of the higher quality and because of the higher consistency, over 31.1% THC and over 5.4% terpene level. We also help them to increase the yield, even in this year, just the last 6 months, by over 30.6% in very short period of time. And we understand that when our customer wins, we win as well. Now, here's another look at the benefits of our vertical farming units. The picture on the right, this is actually a facility here in Massachusetts, roughly about 40,000 square feet. When the customer first came to us, they had this original, traditional way of grow already kind of designed out. So this is actually a 40,000 square feet facility. And based on kind of the traditional multi-rooms light bench style grow, they would only able to get about 16,000 square feet of canopy grow space. And as you can see, there's plenty of open hallways because there's just a lot of plant movements that is required in the traditional way of grow. And as you know, every time when you actually move the plants is actually an opportunity to basically introduce pests and other biosecurity risks to the facility. Our way of grow is different. Basically, all you need is one open room, and in this case, the customer had a high enough ceiling where we can actually double stack the VFUs, and as a result, we increased the amount of canopy square footage by 3x overnight. Instead of 16,000 square feet of canopy grow space, we increased the amount of canopy grow space to over 48,000. On top of that, because of the higher efficiency out of our vertical farming units and our way of grow, we also increased the amount of estimated yield by more than 4. Now, let's look at the unit economics. If they were to build out that facility the traditional way, it would have basically cost them $16.4 million. And it would only buy them 16,200 canopy square footage. At an industry average of 0.463 yield per square foot, they would get about $22 million and a nice 18.9 million EBITDA out of the traditional conventional LED system. Obviously, it does cost a little bit more with the Agrify solution, but the ROI is just unbelievable. Instead of a 16.8, we enhanced the ROI by more than 6x, right? And the amount of canopy square footage, instead of 16,200, it's basically now extended to over 48,000 square feet of canopy growth space at a much lower OpEx. Now, obviously, for this particular customer, they didn't have $27.6 million to start. So instead, what we did is we did an apple-to-apple comparison. We said, look, let's start with 16,200 of canopy square footage, which is exactly what you wanted. And basically, all you need is build out 1/3 of the facility, and you would have that. And you still have 2/3 of the facility footprint for future phase 2 and phase 3 expansion. So the modular approach of our system basically enables our customers to actually generate cash, generate revenue first, and they can basically do a phase built out, which obviously would be very ideal for many of the customers. Now, in addition to that, earlier this year, we also launched the industry's total turnkey solution, where we set up long-term partnership with our customers, by providing them with access to capital, by providing them with facility built-out cultivation solution, as well as an ongoing operations support. And we would get basically a 10-year partnership. And the partnership, basically would have several components. One is that we would provide, like I said, access to capital to help them to design the facility, as well as providing capital for the initial build out. We would then get a fixed SaaS revenue on a per month basis and a success-based SaaS fees. I'm very pleased to announce that we have successfully signed our first TTK customer, and this partnership would allow us to receive over $280 million of production success fee, as well as SaaS fee over the next 10 years. But as you can see here, much of it is all based on production-based fees. And the reason why our customer is so enlightened with this partnership is because when we win, they win. When we get $22 million, they get in excess of $55 million. So it put us in a complete interest alignment with our customers. And we believe this long-term partnership would help drive market and industry adoption. And that's why we are super excited about our TTK solution, Total Turnkey Solution. Now, here's another example.
Raymond, so sorry, just to cut in. We've got about 1 minute left. So if you want to give us some final thoughts here, I would love to hear what those are. And then I know we've got some questions in the audience, but I'll send those over to you, and maybe we can get them some answers. Go for it. I'll let you give your final thoughts here.
So at Agrify, we basically aim to help our customers to have the highest yield, highest consistency, highest quality at the lowest cost of production. It's basically moving the industry towards CPG-like quality. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Love that. AGFY, Agrify, you guys. Raymond, you guys have really been on a tear. So it's been fun to see everything that's happened since your IPO. Like something like 600% growth. It's been just astronomical to see. So congratulations on all the success, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.